Montgomery County, Maryland. This November, you will see on your ballot question B.
To be or not to be?
That is the question. Check out your official voter guide and sample ballot that you got in the mail for the official language. Or check out the link below. But to sum it up, this ballot question has to do with the county council and county executive, and whether or not we should impose term limits.
Limit. That's another one of those freaky words. Limit.
Currently, the county executive and all 9 members of the county council are elected at the same time to serve a 4-year term. And after 4 years, we vote again. Voting for this amendment will limit these members to serving 3 consecutive terms in office. Voting against this amendment will keep things as they are now. Now, Montgomery County held a debate between the man who authored this amendment, Robin Ficker, and the head of the Charter Review Commission, Paul Bessel. I'll put a link down below should you want to watch the video. But I did watch all of the almost 2-hour debate, and after hearing both sides, I will be voting against question B. Let me tell you why. The main argument for term limits is that we need change. And yes, imposing term limits would force people out of office. But as Mr. Bessel argued against term limits, he did something in the debate that helped me make my decision. He provided facts. Facts and studies from other states around our country that did impose term limits for these legislative positions. Studies that show term limits lead to higher taxes and higher spending. Studies that show that term limits actually causes lower voter turnout. Evidence and testimony from lobbyists to say that term limits helps their political influence. And actual quotes from people who originally supported term limits and now say that that was a big mistake. Now I agree, sometimes we need change. There are bad politicians out there who do not put the people they represent first, and imposing term limits would ensure that they get kicked out of office. But on the flip side, we have experienced politicians who are great at what they do. Imposing term limits would mean that they would be forced out too. At the end of the day, we already have term limits. Every 4 years, you get to vote on who fills these positions. You have the power to kick out these bad politicians, or heck, even run against them. The issue isn't that we need constant changeover. The issue is that we need more engaged citizens, higher voter turnout, and we need to hold our politicians more accountable. That is the larger issue that we face, and this amendment is not the solution. So when you see question B on your ballot,
To be or not to be?
the answer is not to be. Vote against this amendment. I'm Scott Brown, and I approve this message. Studies that show term limits cause lower vote. Studies that show term limits actually cause lower voter turnout. Studies that show that lower vote. Limits actually cause lower voter turnout. Lower voter turnout.